Hey everybody. Today I have a short Unreal Engine 5 tutorial for you. I'm going to walk you guys through how to make nice blended looking intersections like this using landscape spline mesh components. This was requested by a user named Sam that I was talking to over in Ryan Laley's live Q&A video that he released today. If you guys haven't checked him out, please do. He has amazing content and great tutorials. But anyways, let's go ahead and walk you guys through how to put this all together. If you're unfamiliar with landscape spline components, there's plenty of great tutorials you can find on YouTube that explain how to use them and some of the features they have and what you can do with them. But basically, you just want to go to your landscape tool, and then you want to go to the Manage tab and select the Splines tool. Now to create a spline, you simply want to hold down left control and then left click wherever you want the spline to be. You can make multiples of them. As you can see, the landscape is starting to deform to them. We'll go over how to make that look good a little later on. But for now, I'm just going to set this to match up the road that I already have. Let's see here. The half width is 400, so we're going to go ahead and set these to 400. And then for the mesh, this is just a simple mesh that I made in Fusion 360, really easy to do. You can find plenty of tutorials for that as well. But you want to go down to click on your mesh and then go to Spline Meshes, click the plus icon, and then down here you got all kinds of options. I'm not going to go over these in too much detail. There's plenty of places you can find that information. But I'm going to go ahead and select my road mesh that I made. And now I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this lined up with this pretty close. And then once I've done that, I'm going to show you how you can kind of smooth the edges out so it doesn't look so rough. You're going to need to go to select mode, select your landscape component, and then just search for edit layers. And you'll see enable edit layers right there. Just go ahead and hit the checkbox. And once you've done that, back in your landscape mode, it'll give you these editable layers right here. This is the base layer for the landscape. You can see if I turn that off, that's the main landscape right there. And basically how it works is this is going to be the bottom, the lowest layer, and any layers you add on top of it will non-destructively change this bottom layer visually. Now to make these reserved for splines layers, all you want to do is down here, you can right click on your already created layer, just click create a new layer. First I'm going to remove that. And you see once I've removed that, it sets the landscape back to what it originally was. Delete this layer. And as soon as you've created your layer, you can name it Splines or whatever you want. You just right click on the layer and then click reserve for splines and then hit yes. Now as far as this goes right here, what I've done is I've created another layer and moved that on top of the spline layer. This is my modify layer. So now I can go and take my smooth tool, just kind of smooth all this out. Actually sculpt that down a little bit. You can play around with this depending on what kind of world you're trying to build and what kind of roads you're trying to make. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this just a little bit more. It's pretty hard to get it perfect. When you're trying to do this, you want to make sure you have your snapping settings disabled. It just makes it a little easier to move things around. An easy way to add new control points to a long section like this is you select the actual spline, not the control point, but the spline itself, and then hold down left control and left click, and it'll add a new spline point, just like that. And this makes it a lot easier for fixing small discrepancies like this. See, I have this one right here. Move it out a little bit. And it just makes blending them a little bit easier. This needs to get moved forward. You generally want to have a small intersection between your two separate spline components. It just makes it easier to get that blend line. Let's take this down a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. Now the next step, you want to go back to your select mode and search for a decal actor. Now I've already downloaded, as you can see, some different decals for like the stop sign and this line and the crack in the road. You can find all of that stuff on the Quixel Megascans marketplace or the Unreal marketplace. There's plenty of free assets on there. Like, it's ridiculous how much free stuff there is out there for you to learn and apply to whatever you're working on. And there we go. There's our paint line. This, I was actually able to blend it pretty well. It doesn't always work out that great, but you can see here's a good example. If I take this, you can scale the decals up to make them whatever size you need. You can see as I scale it up, it applies it to the landscape, the side of the mesh, all of it. But sticking a decal on here like this is going to make that a lot less noticeable. And you can always go in here and tweak things a little bit. And you can always add some other stuff like this too, like the stop sign. That's just another decal actor. Just drag another decal actor in. And for this one, we're gonna go stop. Look at that, you have a stop sign. Just drag another decal actor in. Search for crack. And I want this one right here. But to make this look good, we want to scale it out like that a little bit. Move it over here. And then the last thing is making it sit on top of the line, so the line looks broken up too. That's going to be right down here in your details panel. You have a sort order right underneath the decal material, and you can just change that to 1. But now that decal is applied on top of the line, and it makes the line look all cracked up. And then you can add other things in too, like the stop sign here, a little fire hydrant, some rocks, just a little decoration. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Sorry if I drug this video on a little too long. It's been quite a while since I've made a video of any kind, really, and this is my first Unreal Engine tutorial. But it's been fun, guys. Stay creative.